Hi guys, it's Borks and hello, welcome to my channel if you're new here. Welcome back if you've been here before. So guys, today I feel like doing a period tips and tricks video. Today I'm having you guys balance up on my toy box, which behind it has my tablet and my book for YouTube ideas, because I just feel like having my hands free for a moment. I have a clip filmed of me discussing pads for about 5 minutes that is in depth about different size pads. I'm gonna get into that, so I wanted to film this video for you guys because I have that footage. I might as well go ahead and just use it. Um. So anyway, guys, for the one tip I want to give you guys is, depending on how heavily cramps you are, you should take medication. Now, I am the pot calling the kettle yellow for saying that when I'm being a hypocrite when I say this, or the pot calling the kettle yellow when I say that I try not to take anything, guys. But that is my personal. I have personal reasons against meds. I don't like medicine, guys. I had a cold, for example. You guys know I just got over getting over a really bad cold. Well, not really bad, but a bad cold. I didn't take anything because I refused. Sometimes, guys, I'm really sick. My family has to convince me to take medication, but I've always been that way my whole life. Like, I refuse to take medicine. But guys, I'm telling you, if you're having cramps, take the meds. I'm going to fold my sleeve, not my shirt. Take the meds, because you think you're being a trooper. You're not. Being in cramps and hurting and having headaches. No, you are not helping anybody by not taking your medication. Not taking the ibuprofen for headaches, or the Midol, which also helps. I believe Midol also helps with bloating, which is another one. Guys, you know, to make like for faces, I have a tick where I like my glasses to hit my cheeks. I like them to touch. So anyway, guys, so please take your meds. It's very important. Also, it's pouches, guys. So, for example, if you take anything like seizure medication, I personally don't. But if you have any kind of medication, just make sure, like allergies and that kind of stuff, just make sure that whatever you're taking for pain does not counteract with that, guys. Just be careful when drinking alcohol, when mixing. You should never mix alcohol and meds. Never. Another good tip is change your pad. I'm gonna go into depth later on about, like I said, I'm gonna go into depth later on about pads, and change your pad or tampon every 2 to 3 hours. And that kind of sounds extreme, guys. I've done a little more than that, and I've done a little less than that. It depends on your flow. Try and get the pad, guys. I don't have a box with me, but on the back of the box of the pads, tampons, I think your cups and that stuff, they say in there how often you should change. That is only a, for instance, for example, a big 10-hour night pad. And the heaviest of flow is TMI. That won't last even more than like 5 hours. That won't even last 5 hours. I would still change those out every 4 hours. I mean, TMI, guys. I get up in the middle of the night and I change out mine. Hold on, I have to cough. Like I said, guys, I'm really over cold. Them really big, thick overnight pads, just because they're overnight, do not leave them on overnight all the time, because you can get. Another tip is you can get. I'm trying to think of word. Poisoning from. I'm also trying to say words that you won't get if my videos don't get monetized. I'm not a big enough channel. I'm not a big enough channel to get monetized. But if I ever do get monetized, I don't want my videos ever be demonetized. You don't want to leave them on for more than 8 hours. One pad, tampon, or even your cup in you for more than 8 hours. I've never used a cup, so I don't know anything about that. So we're not gonna talk about cups because I've never used them, because you can get poisoning from it. I used to have nightmares about this. That's why guys, to be honest with you, I don't like female parts. I've said this before. I don't. It's nothing against the female race. I just don't. I don't like female parts, and I don't want to have to touch them. I don't like. That's why it's like I couldn't be an OBGYN, for example. Heck yeah, I couldn't be a doctor, period. You gotta shove in people's noses. You gotta touch bodily fluids covered in plasma. No, thank you. It certainly could never be an OBGYN. It's a sin because I love babies, so you can tell what babies would have been great. But I just can't. I can't go near that area on girls to be a doctor. And you know what, guys? That's why I say good doctors out there. Thank you all. God bless you. If there's good doctors, bless the good doctors, because I can't do it. I can't. I say bless the good paramedics, because I can't get anywhere near. Just body autonomy is not my thing. Okay, another good tip I want to share with you guys is how often you change your pad. Make sure you're using the pad for the right thing, because I'll go into this later on. It's actually already 5 minutes, and that's exactly what I want to do. Is check to see the thickness of your pad. For example, a thin 3. I think it's called a 3 thin, and a 3 maxi are not the same thing. You see they're different sizes because of different absorbents. I will go into that later on in this video. I had no clue about that, guys. And I will show you guys like 3 different pads up to kind of compare each other. I didn't know this. Remember, I grew up with a man. I guess my dad assumed that I knew this. You guys don't know. I grew up with a widowed father, so my widowed father is the one who would buy my team. I would buy my pads and wipes and all that stuff, guys. So he used to buy them for his mother. So when I needed them, because I never had any, so dad had to buy them for me as a young girl. So actually, guys, I actually didn't start buying mine TMI until about, I would say, 4 years ago, because when my dad would go out food shopping, he said he was passing the goodwill. He said he was spreading the goodwill. He would see the pads and just buy them. He'd buy a whole like pack of them of all different sizes, and just like, I feel bad for him though, because a few of the ladies would look at my dad and say, "That was for you." When he was buying pads, you'd see, "No, I have a young daughter," and they're seeing this old, like, white-haired old man, and he's like, "I have a daughter," and they're like, still looking at him like, "You have a daughter? The youngest took it 9 months." He goes, and he even said a few times, in passing, "I was 60 when she was born, okay?" And I was like, "Oh, his dad." Like, a couple times he actually had to tell the cashier, like, "This is my daughter. This is not my granddaughter. This is not my great-granddaughter. This is my daughter. Like, I am buying her pads." And I was like, "Oh." Well, he was less embarrassing than my mom, but she would actually like scream outside. That was like, because I couldn't have my mom buy them because she'd embarrass me and we'd go out together to buy pads. So my dad had to, and then when like embarrassed me in a bad way, it's just he would discuss flow out loud and was screaming out, "This isn't what a lady uses. A lady doesn't use this. Meaning tampons. A lady only uses pads." And that isn't true, guys. So another tip I have for you guys is use what's comfortable with your body. Do not use what's comfortable for other people's bodies. Now, to me, like I said, I don't like touching the female body. I have an issue with this. That's why tampons wouldn't work for me. I don't like touching the female body. I also heard a stigma that tampons are better chances of you getting a bodily infection than pads. I think it's the same amount, honestly. I just gotta change around. But I noticed that when you use a tampon and a pad together, like a medium together, you won't leak. But I noticed if you just use the tampon, you will leak. Usually. Just also, guys, I want to add a quick disclaimer. If you're changing and you're leaking through really fast, go up a size. Pads and tampons both work that way. Go up a size if you're leaking, and if it hurts to insert, or if it is like barely anything there, you want to go down a size. But if it hurts to put in a tampon, go up. If it leaks, go down. Pads are basically, they work the same way. So pads and tampons, what's the way? I'm probably taking my tampons are like all individually wrapped them all in my own house, and I'm just tossing them all away because I don't like the female body. But that's just my personal thing, guys. So that's just like, also, guys, too, I want to say, also another good tip is always make sure you have enough pads in your purse, and remember too, guys, or in your bag. Not everybody who gets their time in a month is female. Some of them do consider themselves male, get their menstruals, and some people consider themselves non-binary to get their menstrual, and some people consider themselves female who get their period. So it just all kind of just depends on what you consider yourself. But if you are a administrator, and I'm not sure if you're cocky, carry a bag with you with your pads, and also, guys, or wipes or whatever you choose to use for sanitary. Another good tip is have wipes. In case you guys, we all know what happens. I don't just say more. We're trying to be ladies here, guys. And remember, on Borkson, this is no judgment. We can all talk about monthlies, flows, and there's a lot of good things that we can talk about women-wise, because I didn't have a mother to teach me stuff. I mean, I did, but by the time I was old enough to get my period, my mother was already checked out of her body emotionally. She just didn't want to deal with it. So I had a mother that didn't want to talk menstruals, didn't even want to tell me about my menstrual. Maybe she did. I mean, my mom was good with teaching me about my menstrual and stuff like that, but other than like teaching me that stuff, like actually buying me the products, she couldn't do it. She was sick and she had issues, so my dad had to become Mr. Mom. He had to become my mom and my dad, which that's why I make these videos for you girls out there and for you widowers out there and you men out there that are raising girls. I am your best advocate. And I'm your biggest supporter. Good men that are raising girls and are good to their daughters, I am your biggest supporter and I am your biggest advocate. And I'm so proud of you guys. And my whole life, I was raised by a widowed, I wasn't raised my whole life by a widowed father. The end, I was raised by a widowed elderly, and my father was disabled as well and elderly. So I'm giving you guys my tips so that you guys can take care of your daughters. And also, guys, there is no shame. If you absolutely have to and you can't get the plasma stain, I use plasma. You guys know what I'm saying. Out of your clothes. Use bleach or peroxide, but be careful with bleach because not all bleach. Some bleach can take out color. If there's color allowing bleach, I would say the best key to it is to get the plasma out as soon as possible. I promise you, if you get it out as soon as it happens, it will wash out completely. Usually, guys, I also have really thin skin because I have other issues too. So sometimes I actually cut myself. I do a lot on my pepper gel, and I just say that this is gonna go on my shirt, pants, and it'll come right out. Only use peroxide if you absolutely have to. Okay, guys, so then I have more to add in this video. So, guys, I wanted to show you guys the difference in the 4 pads. So, guys, this clip is for tips and tricks. Basically knowledge about time of the month. I started with my pop here today. You can see how thick this pad is. This is just because it's kind of stained. See that? See how thin this one is. These are both 4s. This is thin 4. This is a regular 4. See, guys, side by side. See differences side by side? How much thinner is this? Depending on flow, I think this goes by, guys. I wouldn't even buy a thin because a thin, to be honest, TMI, guys, on a heavy day, this lasts me about a half hour to an hour. This will last me to about I change very often, but this could last you about 3. So you get a couple more hours of these, even though I do recommend you change your sanitary stuff every 2 to 3 hours. I cannot recommend when they say, hey, for example, I think these are like 8 hours, by the way, these thick ones, and these are like 5 hours. I don't know what I'm alive. Maybe it's just my body, because every body is different, every menstrual cycle is different, everyone is different. But these don't even last to me. Like, I could change these within an hour, so I change these within an hour or 2 anyway, myself. But I wanted to show you guys that there is a difference in and I know that a lot of people I know, guys, a lot of people I know already know this. Well, I don't, guys. Remember, I grew up with a man. I had a mother, but when I was young, but she was already checked out. My mother, who was a full-blown MS, she couldn't help me with tying my shoes and then help me with that. This is too above what she could do. And that's not putting my mother down, guys. I grew up with a mother that was disabled and bedridden. She had a stroke. She couldn't help me even learn to read, so she could not help me with pads and all that stuff. So I just wanted to show you guys the difference. So in case any girlies out there like me who grew up with a father, my father is the one who bought my sanitary stuff. My father didn't teach me this. It's not because, oh, he didn't teach me. He probably didn't know there was a difference. I was told by a woman who was older that they're the same thing. These are clearly not. All 4s are the same. Thin just means they're thinner, they absorb the same. I want to tell you guys, they do not. Do not listen to that. And I have 2 I've worn them, and I could tell you for a fact. So thins are great when you're in a lighter flow. When you're a heavier flow, I don't want to get demonetized if my videos eventually ever get monetized, but I need these right now, so I didn't want to put this part off. Guys, you can clearly tell that this one's thinner. This one ain't gonna do. It will do something. Like if you're on a way to get more pads or tampons, it will do something. But this is the one here, and I still change these at every couple hours. Anyway, I always change my to fly out every couple of hours because you don't want that sitting. That's bacteria. That's body waste. You don't want that sitting. Can I just think, by the way, is clean. It just looks. I just washed my hands in here. Anyway, guys, I want to show you that there is a difference. They do have different coloring on here too, just because they change up throughout the pack. But I just wanted to show you guys that these, like you clearly see this one's thicker than this one. I thought, oh my goodness, like I thought this was the thin when I went to grab it, and I was like, oh my goodness, like no, this is definitely the thin. This is because the two of these guys I'll show you, and you can see like two of these together is sort of the thickness of one of these. Is, but even then, even two of these together I think isn't quite as thick as one of these. So I just wanted to show you guys that. And then this is the 5 Maxi. So these are 4, and this is the 5. Well, tell safely that 5 is even next to the 4. I usually like the 5. I'll be 100% honest with you guys. I would rather use a 5. My swing absorbent means I can go a couple of hours without changing, not worrying about leaking through. But I like to keep these 4s separate. These 3. I don't have a 4. Oh, these are 4, guys. Sorry, guys. My tongue's starting to whirl. At my house, at child home, I have 2s. I have 1s. 1s aren't even worth it. I don't even buy 1s anymore. I just bought 1s for for days like when I just don't feel good or something. 1s and 2s, in my opinion, are not even worth mine. I did have some 2s. I used them up. When I get my stock back, I might show you guys the ones. Because I want to keep these thins separate because I threw out the bag for the regular ones, and I probably shouldn't have done that because I didn't know that this was here. I thought these were 2 thins. I didn't realize it. But okay, guys, I just wanted to show you guys that real quick. I'm gonna do a video on it. So these 36 count, guys. I just wanted to hold this, kind of show you guys because I know I'm gonna be making. There's may even be a clip for that video when I show you guys. But you do know flushies. Nice, guys. This is the pack I like to buy. I usually like to buy this and then a 3. Not usually as good, but right now these are all I have. So I'll be using this, and this is so great, guys. I love these big, humongous packs. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I want to add one more little tip I forgot to say too. Another quick video too I want to use for you pad girlies is if when you're gonna get in the shower, because to wash your clothes too, before you're gonna get out of the shower, a couple good other tips to do is to always use a dark washcloth. Use a dark towel. And another really, really good tip, and this is one I really recommend, is put your pad, if you're a pad user, put your pad already in your underpants, brand new underpants, before you get in the shower. As soon as you put them on, they're right there to put on. Pull them up, you don't have to wait and lollygag and possibly mess your clothes. So that's another bit of advice I want to give you guys, but I hope you guys enjoyed this content. I do these videos to help out young girls who may be like myself, who didn't have a mother, who grew up with an absentee mother, or someone like myself who grew up with a disabled mother. Like I said, my mother was great with period talk. She just couldn't really go through the actual buying the pads. There were days where I didn't have my pads for a while until my dad would have to come home from my family home, which is my house now, and go get me. So my dad used to have to store pads and feminine care items in our family home. I didn't live there, just for days where I would need them, which was nice. But anyway, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this kind of content. Remember to comment, like, share, subscribe. Go and hit the bell for post notifications. And I hope you guys enjoy this. I hope you guys enjoy my usual content. And to keep in mind, I don't just do period talks. I do hair, makeup, nails, dolls, stuffed animals, action figures, men talk, celebrity crushes, character crushes, movie videos. We do so much here on Borkson. Okay, bye-bye, guys.